They used to eat one meal a day.
كمان هي فتح بطن.
Wow.
شايف؟
Wow. Oh my god. This is something incredible. Beneath the ruins of a once thriving town lies a hidden war zone. An underground labyrinth of tunnels where rebels and locals alike fought to survive. These tunnels were their lifeline, their strategy, their last hope against Assad's forces. And for a time they looked set to capture the city of Damascus, until Assad decided to erase them. The sky filled with bombs and the town was flattened, only that wasn't enough. Assad then gave the go-ahead to use chemical weapons, committing one of the worst atrocities in recent history. Today I'm stepping inside the maze of resistance with someone who lived through it. A first-hand look at the scale, the strategy and the scars left behind. This is history, buried underground. Right guys, so we're just on the outskirts of Damascus, about 7 kilometers outside of the city. I cannot explain to you the level of destruction some of these towns. It's just incredible. Entire towns, entire settlements have just been effectively wiped out. Alright guys, we have just arrived at the outskirts of Damascus to a town called Douma, which was, as you can see, entirely decimated during the civil war, which lasted from 2011 up until obviously 2024, the fall of the regime. And this, believe it or not, considering that it was so close to Damascus, was a rebel stronghold for many years. And how they managed to sustain themselves for so long under a siege, we're about to find out. Alright folks, so as you make your way around Syria, and especially to and from the borders or the airport, you would see these posters and, well, mosaics like this one behind me of the president. This one's of the ex-president, which is the father, which is Hafiz. And this would have been like an illusion of control. This is what the regime would have used to show and tell its people that they have control, that there's very little resistance, and they would just have to accept that. But now, after the fall of the regime, you can now see, finally, what the people of Syria thought of the Assad family. So they've painted it over. Even the thought of doing this back during the regime would have had you probably sent away. You'd have disappeared for 10 years, you would have eventually been murdered, tortured to death. And this is the old Syrian flag, the Syrian flag that will eventually become the official Syrian flag, probably in no time, and then free. For the first time, the Syrian people see their country as free Syria, and a country for them. So we've just come to a part of the town that has been rebuilt, and you don't realise how much of this area of Damascus, it's maybe about 5 or 6 miles outside of Damascus, how much has actually been destroyed. It's incredible. Like even just here, you can see in the ground, this would have been a mortar shell, some sort of missile here, and then this is parts of the shrapnel. And again, it surprised me how many people are here too. Obviously you've got kids playing the streets. Assalamu alaikum. And people just as friendly as ever. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
أهلا وسهلا.
Thank you.
الحمد لله.
Oh. Wow, so this is it. This is the entrance. The smell. Oh. And the smell is only going to get worse. This here was one of their secret access points to the tunnel system. Jeez. Oh my God. Oh no. It's all. Look at this. Oh. Good start. Good start. Oh wow.
هي وقت القصف.
This was the hospital here. Yeah.
هي وقت انقصفت هون وكان في دم وعلم إصابات هون وقتها.
So what was this building above?
Normal building.
Just a normal building.
Also, they targeted it twice.
هون العملية هنيك بهذيك الغرفة.
And was this
During
used?
surgery,
For locals
That-
or
for
insurgents?
yeah.
كمان هي فتح بطن.
Wow.
شايف؟ كلياته هديك الغرفة.
Sometimes they do surgeries without anesthetic.
Oh, right, okay.
هذا مثبت خارجي. هذا مثبت خارجي يلصق لهم.
Oh my god. This is
شايفين؟
like medieval.
هاي إصابة.
كيف يعني بتشعر بانك تعيش بمنطقة منطقة حرب؟
منطقة حرب.
كيف؟
أنا بالنسبة لي قاعد ببلدي وبيئتي. بفتخر بنفسي الصراحة. وأنا في كتير ناس طلعت أنا ما فكرت بالطلعة نهائيا، تميت ببلدي هون لأنه هاد واجبي أنا كشاب أعمل شيء إيجابي لهالبلدي. هاي الغرفة اللي كان يصير فيها العمليات هون. هون هي الغرفة للعمليات.
This is the surgical room. Fuck. There's no way we could come down here on our own. Be shit scared. The dog, I think the dogs are more scared than us. Oh wow. Oh wow. There we go. Right. Wow. This is something else. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my. This is not a tunnel, this is. Oh my god. Be careful, see where I'm going. The ceilings are like 8 foot tall. Maybe got 6 feet across. Oh, this is quite something else. And this is obviously how they smuggle weapons, military equipment, medical supplies.
So this is actually closed now, but before it leads to more rooms for healing rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's very long, very long tunnel.
So this is still part of the
Okay.
hospital?
Yeah. Keep the
شايف هي
patients
يحطوا عليها
here.
سيروم هي، هذيك يحطوا عليها سيروم هون المرضى
This is
بعد
the
العملية.
serum holder.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bed.
Oh yes, there you go. And look at the height of the ceilings as well. This ceiling it could be 14 feet high. And then obviously it's a big enough room, plenty of space. Obviously the bed here. This is not like a tunnel that we know. This is proper engineering has gone into this.
بالآلة هي انحفرت ولا بالإيد؟
بالإيد كله.
By hand.
By hand.
نحن أهل البلد نحن هون.
The people of the-
تطوع الناس تطوع منا
They
أجل
volunteer. The people here they volunteer to dig this. قديش بتاخذ وقت مثلا حتى هذا النفق يصير؟
هلا كوقت حسب مهمة الشباب، بس الأغلب الناس ناخذ بالليل تشتغل بالليل وناس بالنهار، فنشغل بشكل ما توقف الإيد العاملة نهائيا.
يعني سنة سنتين.
أربع لا شو سنة؟ أسابيع.
أسابيع.
لك أسابيع لأنه العمال ما تدري بعدين 7 من عمال يشتغلوا، يخلص النوبة مثلا 4 عمال يشتغلوا 5
Like
خلصوا.
24 hours working.
This is clay, yeah?
Limestone.
Limestone?
No.
No, it's clay.
Oh, it's clay.
Wow. I think how
هاي الدواء.
strong it must be. to build this.
رامي كان الدواء
You
هون
can see
سبب قلة الدواء،
The hand tools that was used to dig it out.
ايه هاي النص
Must have taken forever.
في عندك سحبة ثانية وعندنا
So we're in a different part of the tunnel now. And this is a part where you've got obviously corrugated steel reinforced by these steel bars on the walls. And I think the ceiling.
يحط فيها معقمات بوفيدون.
This is what they used to put like sanitizers.
Okay. So we're still in the hospital.
We're still in the hospital now. This leads you up to the Great Mosque. This is
Okay. This is the mosque.
رامي
Mosque?
موسكي عم يلا.
Yeah. So this is the mosque, and this is what they would have done. They would have had these tunnels going between mosques and hospitals to try and ensure the fact that they're not targeted, but it never stopped. Oh, look at this. You never get up that. How does he feel now? He knows that Assad, the regime, has collapsed.
الصراحة أنا تميت يومين خفت تجيني جلطة أو أمرض أو موت من الفرحة، لأنه بحياتي ما دقت مثل هيك فرحة. الفرحة أنا تميت يومين ما أنام. السبب الجريمة اللي أنا مرتكبها إني أنا ابن الغوطة. هي
So
جريمتي.
his crime was that he is from Ghouta.
أكثر من سنة معالجه كان عنده إصابة بالعظمية برجله.
He was
عنده إصابة.
wounded in
18 ما بعرف
2018.
اعتقلوا النظام
He was
ومات
arrested
بصيدنايا.
and he died inside Naya prison.
He died in Sydney.
انت عرفتوا؟
من كم يوم وقت اللي صارت النظام لقوا اوراقه.
ما موجودة جثته او
لا كلمة بصدناها خالص.
نعم.
لانه انتم شفتوا المكبس وشفتوا الشله، في شله هنيك بيقصوا فيها بقى خشب. كان قطع فيها العالم، قطع يحطوه بالكياس يحطوه بالمقابر الجماعيه. ما بعرف يمكن خشب بدن زي ما
انتوا كنتوا بتعرفوا انه بصيدنايا هو موجود؟
عرفوا بعد فتره دفع. نحن عندنا هون وقت لا دفع معتقلات بشوف حد ضابط بالجيش السوري بالمخابرات بيدفعوا مصاري عن طريق حدا معين. فكان المعتقلين جوا كانوا يطلبوا 100 و200 مليون ليطالع لهم اللي جوا المعتقلين، ما عطيته بخليه جوا.
Well folks, we've just arrived at one of the entrances to the tunnels, as you can see behind me. And this is a pretty standard residential area as far as Douma goes, because the whole city was just decimated. It's actually quite sad to see driving through this place. But now there's a little bit of life, there's a new lease of life through it. But take a look around. Obviously you've got these buildings. This is actually, I would have to say, part of the town which is still fairly intact. This doesn't say much about the rest of the town. As you can see, across every facade you can see bullet holes. You can see where mortars were dropped, missiles were fired here on the right hand side. And then of course we have our entrance to the tunnel, which we're going to have a look through in a minute. You've seen it on the news, but it really seems to come here to get an idea of what life is like now. God only knows what life was like during the war. Gotta be careful here. Wow. This is quite incredible. I think this was actually dug underneath the ground. You really do find all sorts here, from oxygen masks, medication, bullets. Jeez, this is something incredible. So this is us in another hospital? Yeah. Oh. So it gives you an idea of how people get about from one building to another. It's not outside. It's through this labyrinth of tunnels and passageways and bunkers. And nobody would have known. And this tunnel is massive.
Even cars.
Oh, cars could drive down this. Was this made for cars to get down?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
تقريبا طول الانفاق مجتمعة.
نحن ما نعرف. نحن بنشتغل.
Nobody knows.
نحن
Nobody
بنشتغل
knows.
حاجتنا بس ما نحسب قديش في انفاق وقديش كذا.
As you can see, this was, it doesn't look like it was dug by so-called rebels. This was definitely done by people who knew how to engineer, knew how to design. So we've been walking for about, I think for about 10 minutes. The size of these tunnels are incredible. But just like any of the normal tunnels you get at home, the road tunnels or pedestrian tunnels, every so often they have these little passageways just out of the main tunnel, which either allows access to neighbouring buildings, but generally for emergency. Wow, what would life been like to live here?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you feel?
I think it's incredible. I think the scale of these tunnels cannot really be appreciated until you're here, and it really shows the true resilience of people and what they're put themselves through, what lengths they will go to. In terms of the resistance, I think it's quite inspiring. Well, here we are, back onto the streets of Douma, just beside their martyr monument, which is quite fitting, I suppose. And what incredible, inspiring that is to walk through the tunnels, to see the size of it, the scale of it, and to show what people are actually capable of.
Because the area was besieged by the previous regime, so they prevented the food and everything. So there was kind of starvation. So they used to cook anything, like any plant, any leaf, anything. They used to cook like something really unusual. Just anything, any plant. Take it, cook it, and feed their family.
How do you cope living through that?
اول اسبوع بتتعذب لنا اوتوماتيكيا جسمك بيتاقلم ونحن هيك.
If you go to the UK, for example, During a week you feel uncomfortable and then you get accustomed, you adapt. And he said, go back to Sudan. There is different conditions, different things. Then you need a week, and then after that you adapt. And that's it. They used to eat 1 meal a day. Just 1 meal a day.
Wow. What was that meal?
Wheat, yeah.
Wheat, soup,
Yeah, soup, bulgur. Yeah, anything they can find.
and all grown from here. Even from my previous visit, I knew life was difficult under the regime. But only now have I gotten an ounce of what the people here have endured. The war didn't just destroy cities, it shattered lives, families, and any sense of normalcy, pushing people into a life of constant fear, of airstrikes, of decades of torture, or just simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And for many, survival meant making impossible choices. When I made my way back to the border, I approached a few Syrians who had fled at the start of the civil war, many of who had no choice but to leave or face the possibility of certain death.
طلعتوا من سوريا؟
طلعنا من 2011.
انت ما شفت من وقتها عائلتك اللي
صار لي 14 سنة.
بشار الاسد كان هاي الاولاد كلها 20-30 واحد.
عندك رسالة للأسد هلا؟
وصلوا رسالة للاسد معلم الشعب السوري احق بقتله لانه موت الشعب السوري من اكله مش.
And now, over a decade later, with Assad gone, they're finally able to come back, to see the families they left behind, to find out what's left of their homes, and for some, to say goodbye to those they never got to bury. And I can only hope its future is kinder than its past.